Another week, another adventure. I guess adventure, encounter, whatever you want to call it. But apart from that, smash phone screen life. Delightful piece of crap. Bloody Android. It's better than an iPhone though. Anyway, on this week, hopefully that will be under there because we have that. So let's try that again. This week we got a new rear diff housing. I have spares. I'm ripping mine out because mine's got the brackets on the back of it, which sit about here and about here, which get in the way of four-wheel driving. Think that'd get in the way, but that little bracket there always gets caught because it hangs down to about there and about there somewhere. But instead of cutting them off, I'll do a diff swap. So all we've got to do is completely pull this bugger apart because it is a complete diff, obviously LSD. So come out of a mate's rig because he's got factory cable locks which he's just put into his. So I'm getting both his diff housings complete. All he wants back is his drums and hubs. Pent. So, I need spares. So we'll get this thing unloaded. Can't even use my gantry because my tray's in the way. I don't really feel like getting to use it again. Alright. So there we go. The diff is on the welding table. She's talking about it's pretty good. So all we are going to do is grab the Zeta grinder I got and I'll wire wheel it. So all I'll do is change that out to an actual bolt because I don't want to destroy that fitting. So should be, I think it's an M10 by 1.25 thread. So I'll go through my bolt collection and I'll find a bolt and I'll stick that in there and just wire wheel everything, prep solid, clean these up. Yeah, it is. Sweet. Yeah, so there we go. Housing's mostly cleaned. I might actually grab a grinder, clean up a lot of this like factory smuts. I'm not worrying about, I can't get in here properly, but I'm cleaning most of it. Either way, it's all going to get, I might actually grab the Orbi, or not the Orbi, the air grinder. We'll see how we go. But apart from that, we'll clean her up, finish cleaning it, paint it, leave it for a day or two, then while it's drying actually I'll play around pulling the hubs, the axles, roll it forward, I'll drain the diff oil out of it. Yummy. So here we go. Righto, so here we go. Finally got it painted, all except for the pumpkin. Of course, the pumpkins can go in a crate. So yeah, it's been 3 coats of paint black on her now. And I've just undone all the axle studs, so we'll run them back on a little bit. Damn, this weather does all sorts to. Oh. Wow. Right, far out. So, yeah, grab me copper hammer and I'll give all these hubs a whack right there. I'll go around till it pops, because that's not going to come out just easy. Diff's already been undone, so I might actually wait for the paint to dry and I'll crack that bolt and also crack the filler bolt. Alright, I'll literally put the locker, I'll clean this up, and I'll put the locker in it, and I'll see how I go about. I kind of want to change the bearings, but I don't. This wheel seems fine, so I've got to do that. That one's stuck for some reason. I don't know what's going on here, but I know we have movement again. Go. Yes, there's something wrong with that one. I think it's just grabbing the handbrake. Oh, get into it. So here we go. This is why you check your wheel bearings regularly. So this car has only done, well, the car this came out of had only done 40 or 50,000 kilometers apparently on these bearings. But guess what? It wasn't done right because we've got oil in both sides. Now, you won't get oil in your hubs unless it's purposely put in there, or unless it wasn't put together right. So that means the inner axle seal, this one right here, has failed. Letting oil past the seal on the axle into your bearing kit. So you're now getting oil out of both sides. This one's not too bad, but this side is very, very thick. You can see the grease sitting right there, and the grease has actually gone very soft. So this one leaked almost straight away. The other side not long ago. But so all I do is undo all the bolts. You grab your copper hammer, and I also use a pair of pliers to pull the cone washers out, because sometimes they only pull out a little bit and they get stuck. The passenger side is pulled both dowels. You can see on the dowel there as well, there's a little bit of rust, which means we're getting water intrusion, and it's actually the axle that's failed, not the seal. The axles have grooves in them, so fairly sure my mate wanted the axles and the hubs with the drums, if not just the hubs and drums, but I might speedy sleeve them too and put them back in to my locker. So that's enough about that. Again, finishing this off. Sort of still soft on the paint, but yeah, I might crack them bolts now, and I'll let the centre drain of oil. That's the next thing to come out. So yeah, a few hours now. It's 4 o'clock. Last time I talked to you guys, it was about 12 o'clock. So we've had a fun afternoon. But there's one drum, there's a hub, there's another drum and hub. There's one set of brake shoes, 2 sets of brake shoes. Yummy in here. Too bad video doesn't have smell-o-vision yet, because it smells delightful with that oil. Yeah, this is what water in your brakes looks like. So yeah, it's all crusty and yuck. At least that seal there, the rubber is not too happy, but it's not too bad either. Oh, also, I have a smashed screen, so cheers to the mobile fella. But look at that delight. Can't tell this car barely ever drove, because that right there is what happens when a car barely drives. You get condensation, it starts rusting from the inside. But the tubes seem fine. What we'll do is clean that out with a couple of buggy rags, get all that oil out. Degrease this end. Pretty much degrease the whole thing. So we also had rust tear at one stage, so I'll actually get some emery paper and I'll clean them off for the bearings. That's me for today. I'll pick up on this tomorrow because it said it's after 4 and I can't be bothered doing this anymore, but I was hoping to get that in today, but I'll get that in tomorrow after I clean all these up. Also got to scrape this surface here. Right, so it's the next day here. Yeah, great fun. So had a leak at night, put it all over my bench, so I just had to clean off the diff fully out, and as you can hear, downpipe's running, and joys of my garage is you end up with a little creek. Okay. Thank buggery, it's not under the ute like it normally is. It normally comes out from in there, goes under the front of my ute, and goes out between my front wheels, under the garage door, back out onto the driveway. Again, this garage was an add-on about 8 years ago, I think. We built this, but yeah. Joys, it's always leaked. I just deal with it. Normally I don't really come in here and do anything if it's raining, but I kind of want to get this diff in. So this morning we've just been, whoops. Yeah, I've just been putting some wheels over the little air grinder I got. So some of these, this one's buggered, so in the bin it goes. Just to clean up that diff flange, get it nice and prepped. I was going through with the razor blade to get the old gasket off, but bugger that, so now I just have to clean that hole back out. I'll run rags down the tubes, pull all the stuff out of the tubes as well. And then I'll put it on its back. I'll gasket goop it, not gasket goop, the aviation sealer I use. Then I'll go my gasket, more aviation sealer on the diff side, and I'll put her on in and do her up. And then that way that gasket has time to set before there's oil in there. I'll probably also just pull my rear diff out the servo, out of the ute, because instead of changing all these, either way I've got to put my inner seal off that housing, which is brand new seals all through it last year. Even these ones I've got brand new. I've also got brand new slaves in that diff, so I'll probably just undo them 4 bolts, change these over, that way I can actually clean all the gunk off there on both sides. Then we'll put just like that. Yeah, the diff is in. So you can probably see, I don't know on camera, but you can see there's the gasket in there and there's aviation sealer on both sides, so you can see it oozing off the case here, which is that stuff. And then on the diff flange itself, it gets the same stuff. That is after wiping it down with carby clean, brake clean, just to clean any residual oils off, because this diff has sat now for I think it's 2 weeks since I had the diff built. So yeah, when I knew the diff was sitting up, so I put tactile on the gears, and then the locker itself, the day after I just put normal inox WD-40, because it had flash rust on the steel. So I just, yeah, inox, actually I didn't use tactile, I used Lanatec, which is lanolin, because I don't have any tactile. Tactile is what you use when you're submerging stuff in water normally. But anyway, we'll get this diff fully in. I do them up with a wrench or anything, it's just make sure they go on, a couple of threads. The other thing you can see is I still haven't put a plug on it. I'm actually going to go into the manual, and because it didn't come with anything, I'll find out what is meant to be used. Apart from that, all I've got to do is change over these backing plates. Keep it nice and clean, nice and pretty. Get rid rid of that excess, just so you have a nice seal slag, seal surface. Oh, would you look at that? So there's the old diff out. So here you can see the sway bar brackets. Of course that's the bottom side, so she's definitely had a couple scratches from off-road. So yeah, this is a GXL diff, which is no real difference in width or anything, but mine's a GX. That's a GX diff. Of course the mate's full drive is a GX 60. Whereas this is one of my spares. Well, actually, this is actually the diff what came with the car, because my Ute is a GXL wagon turned into a Ute. Let's get the pumpkin out of it and see how much we get done. So we just got to get the new diff under. I'll use a jack and feed it into the springs. I did just take the backing plates off with my hard lines on it, because I've capped the flexi. And then you got extended diff breather, shock still in. Mint. From that, I will now concentrate on putting the new diff back in the car. Get this car rolling, driving again. It is on stands. I've got stands in front of the springs on both sides. Right, so it is now almost 2 o'clock in the bloody afternoon, but there's another diff, the old diff there. The new diff's under. It's bolted up. U-bolts are done up. Done something I normally don't like doing. I've reused my old U-bolts. Again, the car was built last year. It hasn't done anything where they've actually been damaged. There's nothing wrong with the threads on the U-bolts, so I went against my better judgment and I've reused them. Normally I won't. Normally I'll cut them off with a grinder. Also usually put new ones on, but these ones, they've still got their finish on them. There wasn't anything wrong with the threads, so I done them back up. So apart from that, all we gotta do is put the axles in. Brakes are bled. Done that just then with a little bleed thingy my bob. Yeah, axle's got to go in. Tower shaft's got to go back on. I got to refill the diff with the 7590 for the locker, and then I've got to wire the locker. Right, so things haven't exactly gone to plan. I was hoping to have the damn diff in. You see I've still got the bare housing. The Ute's now pushed back into the corner here because, well, that's diff gasket. I literally got down to putting oil in it, and while putting the tail shaft bolts in, I realised I hadn't wired my plug on the top of the diff case. Now, I don't know if it was a mistake in manufacturing, but the plug in the loom from Harrop for the locker came with a plug, but there was no plug for the other end at the diff. So I don't know if that's just how they're sent out or how mine got sent out, if it was a missing part. I don't have any damn Deutsch connectors, otherwise I could have just made the fitting fit the Deutsch connector. So I have a set of, I don't have a set, I have in my electrical drawer, I have my Deutsch and my normal connectors. So I was going to use that one there, which is just a 2-prong, so it looks like a stock part for the cruiser. And in doing so, I'm under the car, laying down on a dolly, but I know the wires on these things can be fragile, but I didn't, oh, this thing is heavy, didn't know they could be this fragile. So I cut both these wires one at a time. That one's a clean cut, that one hasn't even cut through, I've cut too far up. But as you can see, it is no longer in the grommet.
So, looking at that, it's pulled clean out of the electromagnet. Now, I'd understand if it was yanked on, but I made sure that the whole build, that the electromagnet cables have not been pulled on. Now, you have to pull them and grommet to get it to sit in the diff. But we literally pushed the cables as low as possible and pulled the grommet in, so there was never any strain on the cables inside the center. But enough about that. It's great fun. So there's going to be a part 3 to this, because I already know this video is getting way long. But yeah, we're heading back to who I bought it through, which is local terrain tamer, so the old Stun State 4x4. But rip out the collie, so she can sit in the corner. Hopefully we can get this sorted, because we've got stuff coming up this weekend, but I do have diffs if not, so I can put a center back in it, but I really want to put that one back in it. So let's go for a drive.